Hello, this is my Therapy Garden YouTube channel. Well, planting in the dirt helps me take away my hurt. Back to you, Dad.
Thank you, sweetie, and welcome to my therapy garden. Thank you so much for the many subscribers who subscribe to this channel to help this channel grow. I really appreciate that. I want you to know that this is your channel also. To those who send questions and comments, thank you. Let's keep the conversation going. And as one subscriber says, hey, why don't we do something on composting? Because you always talk about cutting the plants when you do your maintenance, but you never talk about what you do with it. So today we'll talk about what we do with that, and that's composting. Now, composting is the ultimate recycling. That's where we take stuff, organic stuff from the garden, and use it to put back into the garden, so we waste nothing. When we compost, we use, as we said, organic material. We can use the green stuff and we can use the brown stuff. The brown stuff is usually called the carbon-based substance, and the green stuff is the nitrogen-based. However, there are certain things that we do not compost. We do not want to put these in our compost. That is meats, no form of meats, oil, no form of oil, and of course no dairy products. But we can use eggshells, just the eggshells. Okay? So what we have here is some of the material that is going into our compost today. We have the brown stuff, which is dried leaves. You can use straw, wood chip. All that is called the brown stuff. That's the carbon-based compounds. Then we look at green stuff. Like we said, when we do our garden maintenance and we have green leaves, so if we just cut the grass, we can use the grass clippings. We can use green leaves. Fruits and vegetable, as we have some watermelon here, some banana peeling in there, and other vegetable scraps from the kitchen. You know, we have some orange peeling. We have coffee ground, and that's the filter for the coffee ground. We have coffee ground, and of course shredded paper. It can be the white mail that we get or brown paper, but we do not want to use colored paper like colored newspaper and advertising and all that. We don't want to use that because of the ink that's in it, which will not be good for the compost. And a quick question, guys, would you consider coffee ground brown or green? Is it carbon or nitrogen? Okay, guys, and the answer is it's green stuff. So although the coffee ground is brown, it is nitrogen. All right, so you can use for your compost bin, you can use a compost pile, but here I have a tumbler. I bought this tumbler at Wayfair for almost $200. It was like $180 for it. And this is what I use for my compost. So let's talk about how we go about compost. When you compost, you want to use a ratio of 30 to 1. That's 30 parts of your carbon to 1 part of your nitrogen. Or the other way around. 30 parts of your nitrogen to 1 part of carbon. So you want 30 parts of the green stuff to just 1 part of the brown stuff. Okay? So we have, this would be considered brown stuff, shredded paper. We'll put that in our compost. Our coffee ground. Fruits and vegetables from kitchen scraps. And also, as I said, eggshells. We can just drop the eggshell in the bin just like that, or we can crush it. It's fine either way, but of course when we crush things, we make it decompose faster. So to make your composition decompose faster, we can always crush our eggshell, and that's why we shred the paper. More fruits and vegetables. and we'll just cut up our clippings from the garden, because this is just a tumbler which cannot hold as much stuff as a compost heap or a compost bin would. So for everything to fit in this tumbler, we want to make sure that we cut it up, and that way it can decompose faster. And then we have our brown stuff, which is our carbon. When we get all that in the tumbler, or if we had a compost heap, we want to make sure that we moistens it. So we'll just use the hose and we'll spray it down to make sure it's properly wet. If this was a compost heap, what we'll do now is cover it, if it was a compost heap. But because I'm using a tumbler, I'll just go ahead, cover, and I'll rotate it a couple of times to make sure that it's properly mixed. And as you can see, there's some moisture coming from the tumbler. When I got the tumbler, it had a stopper right here. So I just put a faucet on it. So the water that's collected, I can use that now as fertilizer. This is called compost tea. Compost tea, that's a liquid from the compost. And I can collect this and use it as fertilizer. Compost is normally called black gold by gardeners, because all the recycled material that we use, we now take that and turn it into something very, very useful for the garden. And that's why it's called black gold. The tea coming from the compost tea, is referred to as your brown gold liquid. The brown gold liquid. And that is just good stuff right there. Your plants will be happy to drink of this tea. And I'll use that to fertilize my plant. So there we have it, guys. We talk about composting today, what we compost, what not to compost, and why we compost. Composting is the ultimate recycling. We do not compost dairy products, oil, or meat. And of course, we always make sure that our ratio is 30 parts of carbon to 1 part of nitrogen. Your compost should not smell. If there's any odor coming from your compost, that means you have too much nitrogen in it. You have to boost the carbon compound. You have to put more brown stuff in the compound, in the compost. Okay? So your compost should not smell. Or it might just be that you need to turn it to get more oxygen into it, to aid in the decomposition of your material. So that's for composting today, guys. Thank you for watching my therapy garden. We're playing in the dirt, help to take away my hurt. You like the video? Please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Any question or comment you have, please drop a line down below. And don't forget to share this with your friends and family, because that's one way we can help our channel to grow. From my therapy garden to yours, this is Webster. Have a great day, guys. Bye for now.